Ready to go?
I know.
I'm ready. Ready for a beer.
Ready for a beer?
I'm ready for a beer. Sit down, have a little bite to eat, get a beer, get tired.
Get tacos before you leave.
Get tacos before I leave. There might be a while. It'll be a week.
Did you want to get a manicure?
Manicure?
Yeah. Pedicure?
Pedicure, yeah.
For an international terminal, I expect some more razzle dazzle.
Pretty lame.
Duty. We should bring tequila.
Ooh, we had to get some Mexican food. Closest we can get to it. Probably for a week. Great for us.
It's a video.
On our way, London.
Next stop, pizza.
And if somebody wants to give us a ride to Dream,
Yeah.
we're cool with that.
Yeah, we're cool with that.
Cheers.
Cheers. I think it's because it is tofu.
That would make sense.
You can smell it. It's curry.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It smells actually pretty good.
It smells great.
And of course, we zip through passport control super fast, and our bags are not coming off
Yeah,
the
we
plane.
wind up waiting.
We have to go to this office over here.
Special help. I think they had a couple of crashes out there.
I think
with,
I saw them drag racing.
Luggage.
Yeah, they were racing out there on the tarmac.
Luggage tugs.
Like,
What's up, dude?
Pretty sweet.
It needs a very good sleep. It's been raining here the past 2 weeks. So.
Yeah. I've spoken to him over the years. Yeah, I don't.
Ooh, F2.
Sweet.
Is that a Type R?
Yeah, it looks like it. The wing.
You guys don't get those, do you?
No.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons I want to look at that, because I think
Hey, Brian, what did you find?
what I found I gotta find it again. FN2 manifold. So I'm online looking for an FN2 Civic manifold because I want that style of manifold to play around with on some of our project cars. So I go on eBay, look it up, find one. It's in Birmingham. So didn't realize it was
Birmingham. It's in Birmingham.
Birmingham. So, which is bloody brilliant. And but I didn't realize it was 100 miles away. So I just messaged him, asked him if he's going to Santa Pod. He said he could deliver it there. So, fucking awesome. I'll pay him extra for fuel, for petrol. So, should be good. I might have to pay for a new bag though, to put it in.
Oh yeah, thanks British Airways.
Yeah, thanks for losing our
somewhere. It chunked every tooth and just left them like still semi-meshed.
Unless it's going to make another something and make other mountain locations.
The side cutters.
I've always had a passion for cars in general, ever since I could walk, pretty much. And then the Hondas, my passion for that grew as well. I always used to love how they rev. You know, a lot of cars don't rev over 8,000 RPM, and I just loved that. It just carried on revving. So the passion for the Hondas grew from there.
This to me is fascinating because I have always wanted to have a meet, you know what I mean, and do these things, and I've always known that basically you start off small and you just keep building it, and eventually it gets out of control and drives you nuts.
Basically what's happened.
Yeah. But I appreciate your inviting me out here. I think that's fantastic.
We have Brian from Hasport Mounts from the States here with us. Brian from Hasport. He'll be at the Mimms booth in just a moment. VTEC Academy is here. Big thanks to Dav from Mimms for having Hasport, and myself, Big Mike, back out here with you guys to see the UK JDM scene, the Honda scene. A lot of wonderful builds, very diverse.
Back in the day in 2009, 2008, I had a Honda tuning garage as well. So with that, I kind of just started to do the meets because there wasn't any major meets in the UK. So I decided to start one at the South Mimms service station. Started small, maybe 30, 40, 50 cars, and then it grew bigger and bigger. It's quite a big service station, and we kind of took over the entire car park, coach area and lorry car park. So no one could actually get into the services apart from us lot. KFC ran out of chicken one of the times. It was that busy. So after a while, the management said, you know, it's too many people. You can't do it here anymore. So instead of just stopping
we're tired of selling out of chicken.
Yeah.
We don't want all this business.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Well, there was obviously no space for general public either. So
Yeah.
you know, they had to do something about it. And then instead of me just ending it, I thought it's a great opportunity to turn it into a show where you have track, drag strip, and I do indoor ones as well. So it's different variation for all the people who like different types of shows.
now it's kind of expanded. I mean,
Yeah.
this particular one is at Santa Pod Raceway, which is a drag strip here in just north of London, I think. Is that right? Or are we south of London?
Wellingborough.
Okay.
Yeah, it's slightly north of London.
Yeah, and then but you do it at road courses, and you've done it at Nürburgring.
Yeah.
And where else have you done it?
So we've done it previously in Belgium. We're going to be doing another one Nürburgring this year, and in Holland as well.
In Holland.
Yeah, and I also organise Japanese performance show.
And that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many Type R's.
Are you a little bit jealous? A little bit?
A little bit.
Oh my gosh. EP3s, FK8s, FK2s,
FN2. Miss nuts. So
DC5s, DC2s.
Yeah.
Every Type R.
Every Type R. All the Type R's. Man. Oh well. Got a drag racer. This is a MR2 powered, K-powered MR2.
Yeah.
So yeah. And in fact, this guy has helped you with some of your cars, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's helped me on my Civic Jordan rebuild.
Nope, didn't make 10 seconds. Uh-oh. We have to take the trophy away from the other guy.
He actually built that guy's car anyway as well. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so he could have taken it from him. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So, you had your wife helping you out here. We had Big Mike from the States.
Yeah.
This seems like it's a really nice group here too. I think a lot of the help came from the facility here, right?
Yeah.
And just a beautiful event.
The build quality here exceeded what I thought I was going to see coming from the United States. You guys do every bit as good a job as they do in the US, so I am super happy to see that and see what's going on out here. I was really impressed with some of the cars that you guys get here that we don't get in the US, and I thought it was just excellent to see what goes on here rather than just in the United States. I hope to do a lot more traveling over the next few years, and this is one of the places I want to come back to.
Everyone enjoyed themselves, which is my main thing. Like you said, the bunch of people that attend are really great people. Even the management here, they're used to obviously loads of events, and they even mentioned that everyone's really good and well behaved.
Yeah, it was a great group of people.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun coming here. I would definitely like to come next year. I think that would be a blast.
Yeah.
By the way, Dav is a Hasport dealer, so if you're in the UK and you're looking for Hasport mounts, I would contact him. How do they contact you?
Any social media platform, email, so either through the Mimms Honda Day social media platform or Japanese Performance Show, or they can email me at sales@ehmparts.co.uk. And yeah, we can hook them up with any mounts.
Very good. And you also have other parts you're importing from the US?
Yeah, so literally anything with a good brand, decent branded name to it. So I don't just supply anything, I supply things which I believe in the product is well made, hence I supply the Hasport mounts.
Thank you.
And nothing else. But yeah, any other decent branded make I can supply as well. I think it's the quality of the people that attend. You know, there isn't all the people that attend are really good people. They're not hooligans. They don't do burnouts and mess up the show for other people. Most of the people. So I think it's the people that attend which makes the atmosphere really good, and people really enjoy other people's companies, and then the cars is like a secondary thing.
I noticed there's actually quite a range of age, actually.
Yeah, so it's literally from 5-year-olds to 70-plus-year-olds.
Yeah.
Everyone enjoys their company, which is the main thing, I think. Cars is secondary.
Yeah, there was no friction anywhere during it was just great.
That makes the atmosphere really great, and I think people enjoy that part of it as well. There isn't any friction, or like you say, or people doing burnouts and unnecessary things.
So what are your plans for the future of this event?
Just expand it. I want to expand it global if possible. That's why I'm doing it in Germany, Holland, Belgium. I want to get to the States as well, and probably Thailand and the Far East if we can get to there as well. Spain as well, I'm going to be doing one next year.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely fantastic. Well, I look forward to seeing you again and coming out to another one of your events. Hopefully this one, maybe a circuit event, that might be fun too.
Yeah.
And if you come to the U.S., definitely let me know, because I'm gonna make every effort to be there.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun here at this event. It was awesome. Hey guys, we're here at Dream Automotive in, I can never remember the name of it. Luton, UK. Sorry. I'm here with Phil Crawford. We are here at his shop.
So my background's come from Honda.
Okay.
I was at a Honda dealer for a good 15 years. I've then since moved on there and started the business working on the FK2 initially, and then moving over to the FK8.
So really are a Type R specialist.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. And as you can see, it was obvious when we drove up that we knew we were at the right spot. It had all the right cars up front. So let's go in and check it out. Cool. Check out the cool stuff. You have an assortment of Type Rs.
Yeah, got a fair few.
Yes, you do. So you say it started off with these.
So the business started on these, the FK2, that came out in Europe and Asia in 2015. So we got a good head start on developing on the K20C1. So we worked with quite a few companies in bringing out new products, intercoolers, intakes, exhausts. And then obviously once the FK8 came out into America and the rest of the world, it blew up for us from there.
Yeah.
There's a lot more products coming out, and then obviously through the website we've supplying a lot more people. So yeah, market's really taken off, and then adding to that, we've got the FL5 now as well.
So this is kind of a special car you have right here. Why don't you tell me a little about this one right here?
Okay, so this was a car built by Honda UK. So it's a factory race team called Soichiro Motorsport, and they built the car as in their spare time. It was all voluntary, and they were given a budget from Honda to then go and race this car. So they raced this in 24-hour race series, Brit car, and various others. Obviously, once the factory closed down, a few things became available. This engine is actually our old race engine.
Okay.
This came from our first time attack car. So it was a fully built engine. We previously trialled turbos on this from HKS and ran the engine at higher numbers. We'd run this at around 400 horsepower. It's on the PRL P700 turbo at the moment. Standard gearbox, but a built engine. We've used one of the Venturi Yaris intakes just because it was a bigger pod and the overall look more than anything on that, because we know that the Venturi intake works very well for us in the last race series, so we stuck with it on the intake tube there, but just changed the actual filter itself. Obviously it's using yaw mounts, which have been solid for us. They worked last time round, so we just continued using those as well.
Fantastic.
And then the main changes that we made to the car was the aero. So this is an M&M body kit from Japan. It's a lot wider, clearly, and then we've put that together with the Desmond Regamasters just to fill the arches and make it look a bit more complete.
Is this splitter something that you developed?
Splitter is effectively a homemade splitter.
Okay.
We bought brackets to mount it off of a USA crash bar, and then it's just a wooden splitter with canards on the side of it. But it takes the weight. You can stand on that, and it's not going to
go away.
It's not going to go away. No, not at all.
It does. I find that the homemade splitters work best. They're easier to replace when you
when you break them.
when you break them, which happens.
Yeah. Of course. But inside the car, it is a full-on race car. If you take a look inside, it's a full cage. It's got fast fuel system, air jacks. It runs a full Motec.
Left-hand drive.
Left-hand drive, yeah. I can only presume, and the only reason I believe that is that it was a car they just picked off the production line.
Got it.
They had
makes
access
sense
to them. So.
Yeah. Do you take people for rides?
It was for testing. So when our driver Romain was in the car, obviously it's my car as well, so I wanted to have a drive. So we're just switching seats and talking to each other in the car. So we don't usually have the second seat in there, but just for the track days and testing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love the aggressive aero.
Yeah, I wanted to make it look a little bit more over the top. When we ran in time attack the first time round, we used a standard road car. So, when I actually turned up to the first race, I turned up and I saw all these other cars with big spoilers and splitters and didn't realise that we were actually allowed to do that aero in the class that we were running in. So once we had the opportunity to go a little bit more crazy and step up a class, I thought, well, let's make it look over the top as well. So hence the big aero cutting in the wing and that.
Have you found this to be, compare these two chassis.
Yeah.
And obviously these aren't built to the same level, but I'm sure you've had a couple that were built fairly extremely.
These are still a very good, capable car. For me personally, this outperforms the FK2 quite easily, purely because of the rear suspension. It's an independent rear suspension, whereas that's a fixed beam.
Right.
So where Honda were testing out more, well, I'd say testing out, they were getting to grips with that engine and this front suspension. It's still got the dual knuckle ball joints on the front. So a lot of the characteristics are the same, but the rear end is probably a little bit looser on one of those than it is this. This is a lot more predictable when you feel it breaking away.
So this has a similar rear suspension to the FN2?
Yes, very similar.
Okay, and then it just has the different front suspension would be more like this?
More like this, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I always thought the FN2 was basically a Honda CRZ. So it's, the only difference being came with a K20, slightly larger, that type of thing. Yeah. I'd be interested to see what the suspension looks like on the underside of this. I'd really be interested in that.
Ryan's actually fitting rigid collars on this at the minute.
Okay.
So I'll have that up in the air and you can have a good look around that one.
Great, excellent. All right, you have this car.
Yep.
So
this is our next development car. At the moment, we've only got an exhaust on the car. It's been PPF, hence the colour change. But we've got a few other products in the development as well. So intercooler, intake will all be developed on this as well. We've got our own seat covers in there, which have been extremely popular. We had so many back orders for those just because of how well they'd sold in the FK8 and the FK2. They're just a good solid cover that protects the seats. And when you've got these nice red seats in these, you want to make sure they're nice.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I think that the seats are super comfortable in this car.
Yep.
And I actually drove one of these. Honda had one.
Yep.
And I just thought they were beautiful.
Do you notice these were a little bit tighter?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so they're a little slightly narrower in the
yeah,
FK2 than
yeah.
in the
This one
FK8.
my son preferred. He didn't
Yeah.
like that one so
Okay.
much. He's a little bit larger than I am.
Okay, right.
So, so how's this one interior wise? I mean, I like the new interior on this. I think the whatever you want to call the control unit for the entertainment center is much better. It's got that ledge that you can rest
Yeah,
your
it
hand
feels
on
a
when you're doing stuff.
lot more simple inside.
It feels a lot more simple.
Driver
And a
focused,
few
you-
knobs here,
yeah,
and
yeah.
rather than
very easy to use,
Yeah.
and it's like I say, very driver focused. You've got what you need in front of you, no distractions.
Yeah.
Just more of a driver focused.
Yeah, I think that they did a really nice job with this car. Have you had a chance to drive it much on the street?
A little bit. I've got probably 1,000 miles on the car now.
Okay,
So I've done a fair bit. I've got
Nice.
to grips with it.
very good.
Handles very well. You can notice all those little improvements that Honda have done throughout the FK8 platform onto this. Even like I said before about coming down, moving over to the 265 tyre, just the way it's so slick through the gears as well. There's a lot of small upgrades that all add up to being a lot more of a complete car on that.
Nice.
So
It's smooth where it should be smooth, and it's got vents where there should be vents, rather than not vents.
yeah. I mean, the FK8 was sort of chalk and cheese with a lot of people. They either loved it or hated it.
Right.
Whereas this, I think this will suit a lot more people because it's that little bit more subtle. It's not as quite in your face.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be interested. I keep going back and forth whether or not I want to buy one. I think I'm going to hold off though for right now. So I might get the Integra though.
Yeah,
I
the
was looking at
Integra
the new
looks lovely.
Integra Type
Yeah.
S, and that's a nice looking car.
Yeah. It's
So-
a shame we're not getting them here.
Oh,
We're not. No.
that is a shame.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But
this
we'll
car.
make do with this for now.
Yeah, exactly. Talk to me a little bit about your early development with this car. What
Okay.
kind of things?
So initially, I'd seen a friend of mine who used to run a company tuning on Focus RSs, and I saw how easily he was extracting power, noise, and effectively making a happy customer at the end of it. So I sort of followed suit with that, looking at the intakes, intercoolers and exhaust, the basic 3 bolt-ons, and then from there being able to tune. So we worked with Iventuri for the intakes initially. This was their old building, so we used to tune on this dyno here, just testing out on the 3D printed intakes. From there, we then moved over to intercoolers. We also do our own downpipe, and then working with other companies for exhausts. Once we got all that together, that gave us a good basis for then tuning and getting to our 400 horsepower target, which is quite easily achievable out of all these now.
Nice.
So we used Civex initially, so the full standalone system. We could have 8 switchable maps through that. And then later on, helping Honda with the jailbreaking of this ECU, and then being able to run Honda on the FK2 too.
Absolutely fantastic.
Also IBAC, we did our own line of springs with IBAC on this as well. So we did a 20mm drop, but it was keeping the standard spring rate. So we wanted to still be able to utilise the R+ function, where we could then increase the dampening force, and then still having it nice and supple for road use.
Did you change any progressiveness on the spring or anything?
No,
like
it
that?
was still the same progressiveness across the spring.
Okay.
But just, it lowered centre of gravity and changed the look. On the FL5, that's just been to Nitron, suspension company over here, and they've developed a road going kit back from their race kits that they had previously. So that's now sitting, I think, around 25mm lower than stock.
Okay.
But we're also going to be looking at utilising an electronic unit to then be able to still adjust the dampening on these shocks that are on there now.
That would be great.
Yeah. All of these products that we're talking about, they're all available through the website, and we ship them worldwide, that sort of thing.
So you were saying that at one point that it really took off. Did you wind up selling a lot internationally at that particular point?
Well, we didn't actually have much of a website to start
Okay.
with. And when the FK8 came around, there was a lot more demand for being able to supply people internationally. So we had the website built, and then from there, that's just gathered more and more steam, adding more products to it, and then everything that we've been speaking about on the FK2, FK8, and now FL5 as well, is all supplied through the website, and it goes worldwide.
Yeah, and you guys have even been shipping Quaife transmission, it looks like, worldwide.
So yeah. So we've got another one sitting in the box over there, waiting to go to the States.
Nice.
They've been very, 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 very popular.
I think it's an underrated advantage. We did the kit to put this engine in the NSX.
Yes, I'd had one customer inquire about that one.
Yeah, I haven't put it on the website yet.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to buy the bullet on that one.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually a fantastic motor for the first gen NSX. So there is a guy who works for Honda that's running the Accord motor in a latest generation NSX.
Okay.
So, which is kind of
That's
interesting.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I gave him mounts and he made all the brackets in order to get it in there. But he, unfortunately, he doesn't like the way SCCA is treating it in the rules, so he decided not to race it anymore. But we're probably going to do kits to put it in the TSX and the CL9.
Okay.
So, and I think that's actually a pretty good car to have that engine in. So
we've actually started to fit these into different cars. So we probably 2 years ago we put one into an old Mini in the rear end.
Oh wow!
And that was a really interesting conversion.
Yeah.
That eventually ended up going over to Civex just to allow us to control a little bit more so, because we wanted to put traction control onto the car as well. So fitted reluctor rings, and it really went to town with that one. Unfortunately, that car went off to France now, so we don't see it anymore. But we've actually got another one coming in next week. This customer has actually fitted the engine into the front of the car on this one. So I'm interested to see.
On a Mini?
An old Mini, and this one's a pickup as well.
Oh, wow.
So should be an interesting one.
That's such a big engine to put in a Mini.
It is.
That's
and
pretty
especially
crazy.
in the front.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad in the back because we used, or the customer used, a Z-Cars frame. So the Z-Cars already built a frame which then suited the K20A. So it wasn't too much. Actually, it's change of mounts and drive shafts. But
I do have a Lotus Exige coming that I'm going to try to make mounts for that.
That's another one that we were involved with.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll show you a couple of pictures.
How well did it fit?
Very well. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to do the kit then.
It has to be the later S2 Exige.
Okay, I think that's what I have coming.
Yeah.
So
I actually bought myself an Elise a few years ago in the view that we could ditch the old Rover K series and try and do this, and then I found out the engine weight was just too small for it. It has to be an Exige.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll take you around the back to start with. So to control the gearbox now, down the back we've hidden a little compressor down the side there. So from that compressor we now don't have a gear stick up the front or a shifter. We've now got a compressor tank, and that will accumulate all the air just down here. And then from that we've then got paddles, and these were taken from a diesel Civic. So nice OEM fitment. And then moving back up to the front, those switches effectively then send air shots up to the solenoids. They're up here. So from those solenoids they will then send it down to the actuator on top of the gearbox. Excuse the mess. It's
now, is that actuator available from Quaife also?
Yes, yeah. So we can buy this as an addition to the gearbox already. So you can spec it either with this shifter or with the pneumatic shifting.
Obviously, if you're paddle shifting, you have an ignition cut set up?
Yes. Yeah, so that's all done for a strategy through Civex.
Okay.
Romain Levesque does our tuning on that one, and it's working very, very well.
Nice.
We're yet to fully get out on the road on this at the moment. We've got the last couple of sensors just to put in. We need a gear position sensor, which I wanted to display for a P3 gauge on the side, rather than having a big analog, sort of gauge on the side. Other than that, once that's complete, we're going to be out on the road testing, and this should be a very fast shift, a lot quicker than the stick.
Nice, excellent. Obviously, you're going to sell this as a product when you're all done.
Yeah. We already do.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just the changing the switches over to OEM. That was a little sort of retrofit that I'd done.
Got it.
But usually it'd be with an aftermarket wheel, and you get 2 carbon paddles that go onto the car.
I like the OEM look though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
Once we're complete with it, all the interior will go back in, and you wouldn't really know. There'll be a small carbon plate over the top of that accumulator unit, and you just think it hasn't got a gear stick. You think it's an auto or something.
How do I go? I want to thank you very much for having me come down here.
No
I
worries.
really appreciate
Glad to have you by.
It's amazing.
We finally just got through security and everything, and our flight is already boarding. So it'll be very exciting. Can you believe people actually fly out of this mall?
Yeah. It's a beautiful mall.
Right?
I was that time in shot there.
Yeah, right?
You guys, thanks a lot for joining us on another episode of VTEC Academy, and please think about liking and subscribing. This particular one was just an absolute blast to do, and I want to thank you all for clicking on us. We'll talk to you later.